We're a bunch of veterans that we're not a charity, and we believe that over everything that we've done for this country, even though we all have our individual issues and problems, that we all come together. That's why it's called One Voice, so that we represent the whole of all the veterans and people that serve this country and all the wrongs that's happened to us, and we have to stop all the investigations into our military past, including Northern Ireland especially, and Iraq and things like that. So we're here to tell the government that we're not happy, to be persecuted for something that we did for them, we did for the country, and we followed orders, and it's not our problem. And yet it's okay for the government to have what we would call two terrorists sat in Parliament. Paddy McGuinness and Jerry Adams being two of them. Why are they sat in Parliament making decisions, and why are they our peers? I'll never know, because they are terrorists at the end of the day. That's the bigger picture. The smaller picture, for me personally, is that I personally, I didn't realise what was happening, but after 20 years of trying to be a civilian, it didn't work, and I ended up homeless and all that kind of stuff. And it turns out that I was suffering from what's called PTSD. And even though I had various treatments and so on, nothing really worked. And what did work was these guys, actual veterans, you know what I mean? Because only veterans can understand veterans. It's okay going to a civilian psychiatrist or a doctor and they go, it's okay to cry. It's not okay to cry, and they don't understand. But when you come here, you put your medals on, you put your lid on, and you go marching up like we're going to do today, up to Downing Street, and the sense of pride and the sense of brotherhood that you get, it's like being back in the army again, and it all comes back to you. And I know any time I pick up a phone, if I'm ever down, I'm ever need any kind of help at all, one of these guys will help me instantly. You know what I mean? It's instant. So, oh, definitely, yeah. Some people might call it cliquey, but after 20 years of trying to fit into civilian street and using the help of civilian street, it hasn't worked. It just doesn't work, and every single one of these will probably agree with me. So, but I know that if I pick up the phone, one of these will answer, and they'll respond however they need to straight away. It doesn't have to be anything to do with money. It just be someone to talk to, or someone to, sometimes just to help me get from A to B. It could be anything. It could be a lift. It could be somebody lends you a TV. Somebody's actually going to lend me a phone today because mine's broken. Seriously, it's that easy. I just picked up and said my phone's broken. So one of the guys here, who's here somewhere, he's got a phone for me to use until I get one. Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just stuff like that, simple things, and it does make a difference. So it's like in the past, I became what you would call an alcoholic reclusive up until 2 years ago, when I found these guys, because I just found myself isolated, didn't fit into civvy street, turned to drink helped me sleep, and then it just causes more problems. It doesn't solve anything. You don't sleep properly when you're drunk, you're just unconscious really. And the health issues, that's not good, is it? So now, if I feel anxious or anything's going wrong, I just pick up the phone, or sometimes they'll just call me anyway, and we just have a chat with one of these guys, and we might take the mickey out of each other, they might, whatever. The old banter's back, and it all helps and it all works, and I don't expect you to understand. You have to have served in the forces to understand, because it doesn't make sense. It's like I've got a friend up there who's only got one leg. We call him Skippy. You know what I mean? But if somebody else was to say to him, if a civilian was to say to him, "Oi, Skippy," he'd probably get a bit angry about that. But because we do it, it's funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a twisted sense of humour, but it works. It's hard to explain. So you're going to have to join up and do it.
And so, specifically to this march today,
yes.
what are you hoping that will come of it after?
Okay, well this is, I think, the 4th time we've hit London now, I think. And we're just going to keep on banging on that door, and just let them know we're not going away, we haven't forgotten, we're not just going to shirk into the shadows. These problems still exist. They are still trying to persecute soldiers from what they've done in the past. And they're still paying lots and lots of your taxpayers' money to these lawyers, ambulance chasers as we call them, to chase us down for things that might or might not have happened, might or might not have been right or wrong, but they just followed orders at the end of the day. And as far as I'm concerned, at least we're not chopping people's heads off and videoing it and put it on bloody YouTube. You know? So, and also, the government needs to realise, and people need to realise, that the Geneva Convention does not cover terrorists or mercenaries and people like that. So, having Sergeant Blackman, for instance, in jail for shooting a Taliban, now, unless they're recognising Taliban as a legitimate force, he hasn't done anything wrong, because it's not against the law and not covered in the Geneva Convention to kill a terrorist or a mercenary, because they're not a conventional force or fighting for a particular country. So he's in prison for no good reason at all, apart from he's doing his job and doing a bloody good job too.